Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Live, because we are live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on the YouTube channel. And today we have none other than the amazing red lipstick wearing supermom, wife, and mama killer storyteller, Wendy Wyatt. Hey, Wendy. How's it
Hi.
going? How's it going,
Good.
girl?
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited.
I'm excited you're here. I am excited because you did come highly recommended.
Oh, well, let me just go ahead and just smooth my hair out a little bit and dust off my shoulders. Okay. That's nice to hear.
Oh my gosh, yes. And so, we want to hear more about you. So I gave you like a quick little taste. So the
Yeah.
Fearless Freedom Tribe wants to know who Wendy Wyatt is, what she's about, what she is up to.
Nice. Okay. Well, so first and foremost, thank you and hello to everyone. So excited to be on this podcast. I fiercely say that I am kind of entering my second half of my life journey. So even being a new to podcast world is super exciting to me. So a little bit about myself in a nutshell. So like you gave me a good intro. I'm a red lip wearing. I wear a flower every day. It's kind of my signature. I'm a mama to a very spunky 9-year-old, wife to a Vince Vaughn lookalike, including the height and everything.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, looks like it's a Vince Vaughn meets Jeffrey Dean Morgan together. So
Okay.
very exciting in my house. A little bit about myself too is that for the past 20 plus years, I've worked in the beauty industry. I've been a people leader. I'm a coach. I'm a mentor, a public speaker, and so forth too. And then, much like everyone else, kind of many thousands experiencing right now, I went through a layoff. Very unexpected layoff, tough business decisions. And then I had to make a moment in there to choose happiness every day afterwards. And I'm in this journey right now and a moment to pause and mostly to say, yes to no moments, and quite appropriately themed with your podcast about being fearless and having that
Yes.
freedom to be
Yes.
fearless and not full of fear, but also being able to accept failure at the same time, because this is all new to all of us right now. And
Yes.
so that's kind of
Indeed.
a little bit a snippet about me, what I'm kind of going through right now too. So
Wow. So there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot
yes.
there because we're
Yeah.
talking about essentially, you had a pivotal thing happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your your employment kind of went
Mm-hmm.
away with the current situation, and then you had to figure out the fear associated with that. You had to figure out how you're going to work around that, how you're going to work through that. Tell us a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more about what exactly happened and how you dealt with it. How
Of
you
course.
decided to say, is it to say yes
Yes.
to
Yes to no moments.
yes to
Yes.
no moments? Yes. So how did
Mm-hmm.
you get there?
So how did I get there? So what I can recommend to everybody in this is, if you're going through this very unexpected, is take a moment to pause. And what I had to do first and foremost, and to let go of any feelings, was pause on myself, write down what is my purpose, what do I have to offer, I am more than enough, and then connect with people around me for a good support system, instead of just jumping in there so forth and not even taking a moment to realize, what do I have to offer somebody else? And I
Mm.
think this, whether it's a pivotal moment like a change in a career, a moment maybe experiencing a relationship breakup or something, but and I call it the pop, the power of the pause.
Okay.
And either in a
Pop.
public
I like
speaking
it.
moment, yeah, did you pop it, right? So that can mean
Yes.
a couple different things. But I
Right.
always
Sure could.
But in a public speaking manner too, it can be allowing your audience to resonate with your story, absorb what you're saying. But in also life, it can be, have you taken that moment to pause and kind of go back into the center within yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Those are some good pearls.
Yeah.
Absolutely practical examples of what you can do. So
Hmm.
so you had this pivotal thing happen. Woo, all of a sudden that check's not coming. And
Yep.
then you did the pop,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
then what was the next thing? What was the
So
next
the
thing?
next thing, I wrote a list what are some things that I've always wanted to do that either time held me back, a fear held me back, the little voice in my head saying I wasn't good enough held me back, and at the top of the list, and this is probably the most unconventional thing in the whole entire world, was I auditioned for a play.
What?
Yes, I was like, I'm gonna audition for a play. I haven't done some type of virtual learning in that way in quite some time. So check that off my list. Other things that I've done was um, started connecting back with maybe some old friends of mine that we have either lost touch, started scheduling even time for self-care for myself. Even I'll speak for myself as a woman and as a mother. Sometimes we overexert and we put others in front of us first. And then sometimes you
True.
can't fill
That's
somebody
true.
else's bucket if you don't fill your own bucket.
That's
So
the
there was
truth.
even, and not having guilt with it. Oh my goodness.
That's
Not
huge.
having,
That's huge because we tend to have that feeling, we all think there is an S on the chest,
mhm,
particularly if you're a mom or if you're, you know what I mean? It actually dads feel this way too. And so it's this kind of like, you are going to do it. You're going to do it all. You're going to be a great professional. You're going to be a great parent. You're just going to do it all. And
mhm.
we're not superhuman.
No. And there's a we're not superhuman, even though we strive to be, but and then sometimes, comparison robs joy. Like we can look
Oh,
at others
yes.
and
Yes.
see, oh, they have a bigger house, a better car, or more this and more that, and why don't I have that? And again, that goes back to that power of that pause and really write down a list and say, what are some things that I do really well? Who am I? What is my purpose? And what can I offer? And we have to continuously center ourselves back to that. And I don't think we do that often enough because we don't take the time to even say, that is a self care, or I just need to readjust and I just need to take some moments of gratitude and say where I'm at right now, what I have around me. So, oh, I see that. Power of the pause. Did you pop it? Did you pop it?
That's right. Pop, pop, pop. When you feel in fear, you just power of the pause. Boom.
Power of the pops. Pop it. So, yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
great. That is great.
mhm.
Absolutely. Awesome. So you clearly have been stretching yourself during this time. So you went ahead and you auditioned for the play. Did you get the
Yep.
part?
Oh, yes, I got the parts. I was like,
Okay.
"Oh my goodness, got the part." We'll be
Okay.
opening later on, obviously. That's happening down the road. Some other things I've also have reached out to even like a career coach. That is something that I haven't normally have done in my past to say,
Okay.
you know what? Let me honor the professional right now in this moment and say, hey, here's what I need. And
Okay.
here's how you can help me find it. And this is all recent too. So this is only in the past like 2 months now. There's been a lot of extra books. I too am now venturing down the road of podcasts, about to launch that shortly, and have
Awesome. I
started
love
a.
to hear that. I love to hear that.
Oh, well, I was listening to some of your great stuff, and I was jotting down some really great notes about how to be a good guest and how to prepare and how to show up. So you're like an inspiration to me. So.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'm
Mhm.
glad that you found value in that.
Oh, of
Sometimes
course.
it's like I put those things out and I'm like, all right, I know what I wanted to hear. I'm hoping someone else wants to hear that.
I think that, well, if you approach life like that, you're like, well, if I wanted to hear that or do that, I'm sure somebody else would want to. So I'm going to put it out there, and even if it inspires or touches one person, I think check that box,
Oh,
and
yes, absolutely.
you can definitely check that box after our conversation today.
Okay,
So
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
you're welcome. Yeah. So
Awesome. So we know how you attacked the fear that occurred once you lost your employment.
mhm.
How else do you attack other fears in your life? Or are there other things that you have had to overcome fear and emerge victoriously from?
Oh, of course. Well, one of those, if we go way back, going very deep, and I think this will probably ring true to a lot of people as well, as just overcoming like some of the self confidence issues that you have too. right? So some of that stems from me, from my body positivity, growing up in a way of, am I pretty enough? Am I skinny enough? Or do I have to offer? Or does this person like me? Or, am I going to get asked to this dance? So, I used to call those like the teenage angst, right? The who,
Hmm.
the what, the
Yeah,
where, the
yeah,
when, the what,
absolutely.
who am I? Where am I going? What am I doing type thing. So I've really explored even that avenue in the last handful of years about self-love and body positivity, and showing up for others and showing up for yourself too. So whether that's wearing something that makes me feel good. I know a lot of times we want to hide from ourselves because we don't always feel that we are putting our best foot forward. And I think sometimes you really have to go back to the mantra of you do you. Like that is kind of
Unapologetically.
right, unapologetically, like you do you. So there's been a lot of conquering through some fear with that as well, about putting myself forward, the self-love, self-confidence, and that's been a journey, and that continues to be a journey. And what it was, a pivotal moment for me, was when I became a mom. And I had somebody with two beautiful eyes staring up at me and hearing every word that I say, watching every move that I do, and
Hmm.
listening to how I loved myself. And back then it used to be how I loathed myself.
I see.
And I really had to say, I need to change this narrative in order to not only have self-love for myself, but then also show others around me too, to be unapologetic about self-loving yourself as well.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's something, and I think that this is true if you have a biological child or if
Hmm.
you adopt a child. There is just something about having, and I guess you can have this too for a fur baby. I suppose you
Yeah.
can. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think that, when you have another human, I think it's a different level because you have someone that is literally dependent on you for
Mhm.
how do you navigate this thing called life, number one. And then number two, they're dependent on you for the guidance from not knowing anything, this tabula rasa, into adulthood where they have to function in our society. And
Mhm.
it's huge. They are truly watching everything that you do, and even when you think that you're not relaying certain things to them, they are picking up on it
Mhm.
because, as you mentioned, your attitude towards your self-image, your cherub is experiencing that. They're getting that messaging. And so you have to really work, and it's hard. It is very
Yeah,
hard. You have to really work and do some deep work on yourself and your mindset so that you don't relay that same negative perspective to them, because it's only going to
absolutely.
perpetuate otherwise. So yeah, no, kudos to you, mama, because
Yeah.
that is not an easy thing to do.
Mhm.
And yeah, they're literally like mirrors, okay? So you know how like how you're like, okay, well, I thought I looked in the mirror this morning and I did everything I was supposed to do and I left the house, and then you still had that piece of broccoli in your teeth, or you
Oh,
still had
yes.
that in your teeth. Yeah. And you're talking to people and they are just so terrible because they never going to tell you. Only your true friends are going to be like, "Look, girl, you have some broccoli in your teeth. Do not go into that meeting with the broccoli in your teeth." Okay?
Mhm.
So your children are literally like that. Your children are like that. And it's amazing. So it's like they show unconditional love, which
Mhm.
is phenomenal. I still think that is a huge blessing as humans. And then the next thing is they are a tabla rasa, so you are pouring into them, helping them to be better as they move along. But they're also a nice mirror because they show you when you're not doing right.
Mhm. I always
Because you're
say,
like, where did you learn that? Stop doing that. Where did you learn that? Oh, yeah. I did
yeah,
say that the other day, didn't I?
yeah, I learned it from you, and you're like, "Oh, okay, thank you."
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, and
Oh my
I
gosh.
would say that was my experience with, having a child, but this is open to anybody, whether it's friendships, whether it's nieces or nephews, or even, either a roommate too. Like, I just how we speak to ourselves is a huge, it goes volumes to everybody around. And again, I had to really make the choice to say, do I loathe myself or do I love myself? And I always say that somebody can give you 10, they can tell you 10 statements, and 9 of those can be the most positive. But for some reason, one of those can be a negative statement or negative thought, and we harper on that. Total pun intended, because that was
Oh
my
yeah.
that's my daughter's name, FYI.
Oh
And
really?
yeah,
Okay.
so threw that in there, a little sly.
Oh, how
Um,
sweet.
but we always we harper on that one statement that somebody has said to us. And I read a really great quote from Dave Hollis the other day, was like, out of the 100 people, 10 are going to say something. Show up for the other 90.
Oh,
Show up for the
absolutely.
other 90.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
No, those are wise words because we tend to really do hone in specifically on the negative. Oh, and thank you, Maru, for commenting. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, lady. Keep doing awesome things. She commented in from LinkedIn. For those who are listening, you can definitely go over to LinkedIn and watch this episode live and see both of us interacting. So fun. But yeah, totally. I mean, that is such a good point. And I don't know why we do that. Like, why do you think we do that? You just think we just don't want to be happy? We just don't want joy? Or like, no, I don't want joy. Get it away from me.
I think it's our strive. You mentioned this earlier. It's like this strive to have perfection. And if I don't have all 10 statements perfect, am I less than because of that? And I just think, as human nature, it's like we want to be perfect to everyone at every moment and all the time. And it's like, I'm sorry, but I am only showing up to reference Brené Brown. I'm only showing up to the people in the arena who bought the tickets in the front row, VIP, not anybody of the naysayers in the back trying to scalp a ticket. So
Love it. Love it.
that's
Love it.
that's my audience. So
No, you have to claim it. You absolutely do. Because that is, if you don't claim it, yes, you will fall into the cesspool that surrounds us, unfortunately, of sheer negativity. And I love that you brought that point up because that is something that we all need to hear, particularly now, whether you're talking about the effects of what's happening around us on your business, whether you're talking about its effects on your life, on your psyche, on your relationships. It's so important to limit the negative impact of the surroundings and the circumstance to a small fraction of your day, if at all, and really fight to make the majority of what you're surrounding yourself with, including what you are watching and what you are listening to be something that is going to edify, uplift, and encourage versus the opposite. Because your mental replay is super important. And if you feed it with negative vibes, what will happen is you will not, number one, reach your potential. And number two, you will not live your best life because you'll be too busy living in a place of pain instead of living in a place of power. So wise words, really wise words.
Oh, I love that. Live in a place of power versus a living in a place of pain. Absolutely. Yeah, like and you know what? And you might have to, if all of a sudden, if you're pausing for a moment and you're looking around what you're being filled with, and if it's constant negativity, we're living at a time right now that where connection is probably a little disencouraged. Did I make up that word? No, I don't think I did. But it's not as encouraged. And this is when we need it the most.
Absolutely.
So be very mindful about who you're listening to, whether it's a person, whether it's a news, whether it's your social media channels. Look at who you surround yourself with right now. And are they filling you up with joy? And that is my ultimate goal in life right now, is I'm seeking joy in any different avenue, whether it's personal, whether it's professional, and so much more, is to seek joy.
Yeah, no, that's paramount. Really is, because it can make all the difference. And the other thing that I see, and as from the emergency standpoint, so I'm working in the emergency department. Obviously, I will see patients who are unfortunately affected by the COVID-19. But the other thing that we're seeing is because of the fact we sequester ourselves and we've had to distance ourselves, a lot of mental illness is surfacing partially because people are having very poor coping mechanisms. And so what's happening is they're actually leaning towards coping through substance abuse or substance use. And that's a whole entity. And then you have the other piece where you may have been connected, going to your groups every day or a couple of times a week to keep you stabilized and keep your mind in balance and have the tools to deal with additional stress. And now you're not getting that. And so you're falling apart, or maybe you're missing your medications or whatever. But there is just a huge spike. I mean, we already had a lot of mental illness. We already had that. And we don't really deal with it very well as a society to begin with. And so now we have another layer on top of that, this increased stress, this dissociation, this disconnect. And it is amazing how many people are really in pain right now. Mental pain,
Mental pain, absolutely. Yeah. You summarize that so well. And, if we can't, and that's, I think there's one moment right there is that technology is better than it ever has been. And if it's through a Zoom, through a phone call, a text message, I say anybody who's even feeling that way is reach out. And I can also empathize too that it might be hard to reach out. So as us too, we need to be reaching out as well. So it's a good two-way street to really think about that.
Absolutely. Because I mean, when was the last time you just picked up a phone and called somebody? I don't know. It's been a minute for me. Do you know what I mean? I do. There are people who I correspond with regularly, and it might be a quick Zoom call, or it might be a quick, call on Facebook, but it's all kind of, or WhatsApp call, but it's all interface with some kind of social media. It's not, I'm dialing a number on my phone and actually call, but man, I used to do that a lot back in the day. You know what I mean? That was the mainstay. I remember spending hours on the phone. My mom saying, you got to go to bed because you have school tomorrow. I remember that. So, that is something, maybe we have to go back to that. If you haven't heard from somebody in a while, just pick up the phone, just say, how are you doing? Because, maybe that might just be that moment for them that is well needed. And they're, that's going to be that moment that takes them from the precipice. They may come back and say, you know what, someone actually cares about me. I am so grateful. I'm going to give it a shot. You just never know. So
I think about those moments too, when somebody has reached out to me and I'm like, did you know that I was thinking about you? I really wanted to hear from you and have this conversation because it meant so much, or you offered some insight, or you offered some help or encouragements. Some of us, there's dark times right now. So if we can just pause and just find ways to connect, and, a phone call, even though it seemed, I'm dating myself all the way back to 2 lines in the swatch phone, but conversations, just have the conversation. So
absolutely. Well, I dated myself when I said there was a phone that's hooked up to the wall. I had literally had a phone that was, believe it or not, young ones, hooked up to the wall. And the phone, the receiver, the bottom part was hooked to the part you talk to.
I'm going to really date myself. Are you ready for this? All out. I actually still have one of those in what we call a landline.
Oh my goodness.
I do.
That sometimes right there is amazing. Do you ever use your landline? Do you ever use it?
No, I don't even know the phone number, but it's there for emergency. So,
well, that's a good point. It's funny because we had cut the cord on cable, and when we did that, we also got rid of the landline. Probably about 5 years now, but we still have actual phones. We still have the instrument, that plugs into the wall. We have that, but we just don't have a landline.
Hold on to that, because that might be worth money one day on eBay or something.
That's what it sounds like. That's what it seems like. Because more and more people have no idea what I'm talking about when I say, I used to always carry a quarter or a couple quarters in my pocket when I was on the road. That's because you just never know, and you might need to make a phone call. And they're like, how you gonna make a phone call with a quarter?
You're like, oh, young grasshopper.
Yes. I was like, they had payphones. Believe it or not, they were pretty much everywhere, but not anymore. But it's all good. It's all good. It's just kind of funny how fast things move and how things evolve.
Exactly. So
Awesome. 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 You know what? This has been such a great conversation. And thank you for all of the pearls that you have shared with the audience. I know that there are definitely, we've actually already gotten feedback from several people, including Maru on LinkedIn. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for those, because that's very practical. Those are practical points. And as you all can see and hear, well, if you can't see, because when the recording goes out, you'll be able to see this, but flashing across the screen is power of the pause, or pop. So that's one thing that you can definitely utilize right now that's practical to help you to basically seek your joy. So we're at that part of the show, though. No, first of all, you have to let us know before we get into that. You have to let us know. So you said that you're going to be starting a podcast. You have to let us know, where has it been started yet, or do you have a title yet, or?
Okay. So I have a title. Oh, it's all in my head right now. It is.
Okay, no, see right there. Okay, you just said pop, right? You just said that. And then you said that you were going to be working on stretching yourself during this time, right? And so part of that was making the decision to actually start a podcast, which is fantastic. Now, you have it all in your head. That means that the next step is to put it into action.
Absolutely. I am taking my own advice right now, and about like living through fear. It's going to be called, I have a social media, Instagram started with it right now. It's called Pep Talks with Dub Dub. Wendy Wyatt, Dub Dub. So it's a way of, I highlight people wearing red lipstick because it's my signature color, and about what would they tell their younger self? What was your life mantra? What gets you up? Just share your story. And then I share some memes or real life pictures that have spoken to me in the moment, and just sharing out somebody who might need a pep talk in the moment. So my next step is a podcast. I'm living through that fear right now. Learning from you, and it will be called also Pep Talk with Dub Dub. So yeah, this has been a
Pep Talk with Dub
mine.
Dub. I am literally like looking on Instagram right now. So it's on Instagram. It's on Instagram now. Okay, Pep Talk with Dub Dub. All right. And
oh my gosh, I just put this way out into the world.
You sure did. And that's what has to happen. This is what happens when you put things out into the universe. Guess what? She listens.
She does wholeheartedly, 1,000% times 10. So.
Oh, there it is. And it has a red lipstick kiss on the what do you call that? Is it an icon? No, it's the profile picture.
Yep.
The profile pic. Nice. Love it. Okay, I'm following. Followed.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I just literally put this out into the world that it's going to happen. So
yes, it's going to happen now. It is for sure going to happen, and for sure you will get support. So now we're waiting for those first episodes. Okay.
Got it.
Oh, this is live facing your fear. Okay. This is actually facing your fear in real time, folks.
Let me tell you how real time it is. I feel like I'm Mary Catherine Gallagher right now, that I'm sweat a little bit and be like, oh, it's happening. So to the point, let me show you this, if we can be real vulnerable here in the moment.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Talk about living in your fear, in your moment of putting your dream into play. I actually have the microphone. I'm talking like it is.
Oh my gosh.
To anybody out there who ever
So if you're listening, I'm leaning back and I'm like clapping. Okay. Leaning back and clapping, because that right there, she just put the microphone and the boom arm on camera. So this is real. Okay. We got the Instagram page, Pep Talk with Dub Dub. Okay. So go right there and, follow her right now. And then you also have your equipment. Okay. Yeah. So when is the first episode coming out? See, here's the next step. You have all the stuff. You got the concept. What date are we expecting your first episode?
Oh man, my palms are sweaty a little bit right now.
Hey, it's just tough love. It's tough love right here.
I know.
This is on the spot action step taking.
And this is living through fear. Literally live right now. So.
Yes. In front of the world.
You know what? I'm gonna to the world. How about we'll say in October it's going to officially launch.
October. Okay. All right. You heard that here, Fearless Tribe. You heard her say it. So October, we're looking for Pep Talk with Dub Dub. Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
thank you. Oh,
Awesome. Awesome.
this made my heart feel so good. So thank you.
Wow. So I know you're going to have some great answers for the fill in the blank. Now that we just put you through the ringer for facing your fear on live, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
Oh, it's all there. Okay.
It's all on all those. Yeah. It's all good. Awesome. 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 It's so much fun talking to you. So, Wendy, here we go. We're at that point in the show where we do our fill in the blanks. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So the first one is if I am fearless, I will
seek joy. Continue to feel joy. If I'm
Awesome.
fearless, it's not the negativity that's holding me back. I'm anchoring to that. I have an overarching, in the words of Kenny Chesney, what's kind of led me right now is I'm learning to build a better boat.
Oh, I like it. I like Kenny Chesney, by the way.
I did too. I
don't like a whole lot of country, but I do like him.
Same way, but there's that one song.
Me somehow. I don't know. It's kind of strange.
Well, because to me, he lives that island life on a boat with a cocktail, and I'm like, take me with you, Kenny. So,
I see.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm gonna live that island life. So,
island life is good. I'm from an island, so I totally get it. Yeah. All right, and then to me, fearless freedom means.
It's being yourself. It's being authentic, and honestly, it is really listening to the people in front of you who care about you, who matter, and not all the negativity around you. It's just living that way. It's living your unapologetic self.
Love it. Love it. Mm-hmm. And then last but not least, my battle cry is.
Okay. So I thought about this in a way. I was like, just do it like Nike or something like that, like something, with a mantra. In my mind, I was like, what would be my battle cry? And really, I will say this is find your hype person. And that seems really, it's that person that you can go to when you're having not a great day, not a great moment. You need some encouragement. It's your goose to your maverick, whatever it is. Find that person, even if it's one, and hold on to them so tight and cherish and build that connection. So.
That's fantastic. And it's so funny that you made a Top Gun reference there, because people are not going to get that. They can be like, who, Goose, Maverick? Who's that?
I know.
But I guess there's a new one coming out, and so they'll get to know him and what he's all about. But that's fantastic. Love it. Love that. Get your hype person.
Get your hype person.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Love it. Wear your red lipstick. Get your hype person.
Yeah. Put that flower in your hair.
Dub.
Talk a dub. So.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you, Wendy. This has been such a great show. How can people reach out to you if they want to contact you?
So you could reach out to me through my Instagram, through Pep Talk with Dub. Hopefully, I know you saw that on the screen here a moment ago. I'm also on LinkedIn under Wendy Wyatt. Those are probably the two easiest places at this moment until I launch my podcast.
Yes, in October when you launch your podcast. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In October. And you're going to be a guest of mine. I would love that.
I'd be happy to. I would love to do that.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
Reverse the mic.
So. That would be awesome for sure. Awesome. Yeah. So thank you for being on the show. Thank you, Fearless Freedom fam on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Facebook for tuning into this week's live episode. And thank you for your comments, everybody. Love it. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. And don't forget, if you're on YouTube, to drop a subscribe, hit the button down here, and subscribe to the channel so you can get everything, and that you drop me a quick positive comment and a like. Love you lots. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.